If you've been considering a move to the Pueblo, Colorado area and you've been considering how custom can I get when it comes to the home that I want? Yeah, maybe you want to build a home, or maybe you want a home that you can really make your own and put your finishing touches on. Well, today we're actually going to talk about land. What is that process? Because not very many people are familiar with that, so let's get into it. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know all there is to know about living in Pueblo or the surrounding area, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all the latest. I'm Krista, a local realtor here in Pueblo. I have boots on the ground locally. I grew up here since I was a little girl. I'm actually a Colorado native as well, so you're in good hands on this channel when it comes to somebody who has the scoop and can just be your resource for everything to expect when you are thinking of making a move to Colorado. So if you are looking for someone to help you with that, you need someone to help make sure that it's a smooth transition, you get your questions answered, and you feel like you have support in your corner, grab my contact information. It's in that description box below. You can reach out at any time. You can shoot me a text, give me a call. Either way, I look forward to connecting. And in the meantime, we're going to go check out some land. We're going to talk about that today. And if you're local in between now and our next video, maybe we'll see you around Pueblo. Okay, so we are headed over to Pueblo West to show you some land. That's really the most popular place if you're wanting to build fresh from, ground up. There's lots of parcels out there available. Lots of them are between, 1 and 2 acres, sometimes 1+ acre. And the prices range from like 30 to 40,000, just depending on where you're going to build. Now, there are some rare lots that are available that are 16 acres for 200,000. And we're going to talk just about land in general, but I wanted to show you this actually specifically. This is the new road that goes out to Pueblo West. So when you are traveling to Pueblo West, it used to be that you had to stay on this road all the way to the next highway, which is Highway 50, but you don't have to do that anymore. So we're going to show you how convenient this is. All right, so this is the new road. It's called Medal of Honor Boulevard, and this is gonna cut all the way through the middle. So we don't have to go all the way up further north to hit Highway 50 and then hit one of the exits and kind of come back, back south. It's really nice. This actually cuts right through what is known as PMI, which is Pueblo Motorsport Park. Wow. Anyways, you can see the trails here off to the right. Words are hard sometimes. I don't know what else to say. But you can see off to the right here, that's kind of some of the trails that people use for ATVs and bikes. And then you'll see that there's actually some bikes out today. So here's some motorcycles out today as well. So what they did is they just cut through this land right here and built a whole nice road. It's nice and quiet. And then when you pop out up here, you're actually going to be on the pretty southern side of Pueblo West. So hits a street called Joe Martinez Boulevard. You don't need to be super familiar with that. If you're not, that's okay. But basically, the furthest south you can go off of this particular exit we're going to come out on is a place called Liberty Point. And Liberty Point is usually a decent 10-minute drive from the first exit in. But once you pop out here on this new road, it's less than 5 minutes. So it's really nice. It does make a convenient way to make your way over from the south side of Pueblo to just cut straight through this. And then it puts you kind of deep into the crux of Pueblo West, because otherwise, like I said, you have to take Highway 50, get off on one of the exits and start traveling either north or south. It just depends on which side of Highway 50 highway you want to be on, because you can build on either side. Today I'm going to take you to where we were recently looking at some lots with some buyers, so I can show you what that looks like, and we can just give you, a lay of the land, literally. So you can follow along, and we're going to keep venturing over, and we'll see you when we get there. All right, it's an absolutely beautiful day today, and we're just taking a walk here on a road where I know there are several pieces of land available. They range from about low 30s up into the low 40s, and they are all about an acre to a little over an acre, like 1.1, 1.2. And here, I'll just turn this way, and you can see there are some signs back here of the pieces of land. But this is literally considered like Liberty Point area, which is really popular for people in Pueblo. It's an overlook. If you go to the actual Liberty Point, it's just that way. And it's an overlook where you can see the reservoir, you can see all Pueblo. We've actually done a video about that. We did a Pueblo West video one day and we covered Liberty Point. So if you want to go back on our channel, you can find that pretty easily, because we haven't done too many Pueblo West videos, but there are some on there, and you can go see what Liberty Point looks like exactly. But I want to just show you this one. Now, there's several different things that you will get with land in Pueblo West. Some properties are going to be, as you can tell, this one is non-paved. Okay, this is a non-paved road, and they might come off of a paved road onto a non-paved road. Sometimes it's all non-paved. All right, this little microphone here, super sensitive. If you've been following me for a while, you're gonna hear me say that in every video. We're looking for new mic solutions because the littlest bit of wind will just distort the whole video. So what I was saying was non-paved roads to paved roads. So you can have a paved road that goes onto a non-paved. You can have all non-paved like this one was. And they do keep these pretty packed down out here if you're looking in Pueblo West specifically. The reason I'm covering Pueblo West is because it's a very popular area for people to get land and build houses from the ground up. So if that's something you're looking to do, Pueblo West is a great area for that. So I will flip the camera around. Something that to just keep in mind when you're looking at land is, is the street I want to live on? Are the power lines buried or are they above ground? And what is the potential for views being obstructed if there's a lot of land for sale, and that you're essentially going to have unknown neighbor situations, or you don't know what they're going to build. That's always something to keep in mind too. Or if you are looking for a lot of land and you have a price point like this, because we hear all the time how Pueblo's price points for land specifically are very, very affordable, and people are pretty shocked by how affordable the land is here. And so, especially if you're coming out of state, somewhere like California, or just a much higher price point state, this looks very, very doable, right? So what we do have some people do, in fact, there's 3 lots available right here. They'll buy all the lots in the surrounding area just so they can have more land for whatever use they need. Maybe they want multiple houses. Maybe they just want to have more property so that they know, what to expect in the future when they are looking to build. So that is a possibility as well. So I will flip the camera. I want to show you the street specifically. So for this particular street, I'm just going to show you, it is decently wide. Okay, and then you can see here, there's a couple of pieces here. I believe on the parcel map, this one is even for sale. There's not a sign on it, but this one is for sale as well. And so I'm just kind of giving you a lay of the land. So you take a look around and you just kind of see like, okay, what do we think about the area? How close is it to our first major street? How easy would it be to get on the highway? Whatever you want to consider, right? Some people don't care about those things. They just want a lot of land. They want to be comfortable, and they know that either way, the city is only 20 minutes away. On a bad traffic day, really it took us like 10 or 12 minutes to get out here. So especially with that new road, which is really, really nice. So it didn't take us long at all to get out here. And people can say that's enough for me. Especially if you're coming from somebody or somewhere where you're living in like a country setting, right? This is easy. So, this particular, you can see there are power lines over in this area. Okay, so the power lines are running through here, which is fine. It's not an issue if they're not going through your backyard. Some of the older homes, especially on the south side where they were built in the 70s and the 50s and even earlier than that. I mean, some of the homes on the south side, if you go downtown, they were built in the 1900s, literally like 1905, 1906. But, some of those will have literal power lines like dropping underneath. I mean, just way too low to where they're almost uncomfortable, right? And that's something that will be something that someone looks at when they go to buy your home later. But this is different. This is like a high power line. the most it's going to be is maybe an eyesore, right? And so it's just something to be aware of. So when you're building, you're not super close to a power line or ones that are hanging really, really low, right? And in particular, these properties here are not. So whoever ends up purchasing these, it's not a big deal because they are plenty far away. So yeah, just taking into consideration the size of the street, if it's paved, if it's not. And then what happens when you purchase a piece of land? Well, let's get out of the wind and I'll tell you about that. All right, we came inside the car so you can actually hear me. We don't have to worry about distortion from the mic. And I feel like no matter what microphone we have, it's just wind is gonna be tricky. So let's be inside the car where you can actually hear what I'm saying. So when you buy land, it's a different process than buying residential. So when you buy residential, you obviously, just the basic gist of it is you buy a home, and then you usually have an appraisal done, you have an inspection done, the inspector comes out, they check the home, and if there's anything wrong with it, you can object. And then at that point, if the seller does not resolve it, you can back out the property, or the seller resolves it and you go forward, right? It's home and residential purchases are kind of the same thing over and over. Land is a little bit different. It's just really based on preference. There's a few different things that you have to think about. So you can do a site and soil test evaluation just to make sure that where you're putting a septic tank makes sense, that the levels in the ground are good. You want to make sure you're not getting all shale, right? So they can literally test the site by digging some holes with an excavator, which you can hire out for, and then making sure it's a buildable piece of land. Also, has the land been improved or not improved? And what are you using it for? So if you're trying to use it for something where you want to have some sort of commercial situation happening, you have to look at zoning, making sure that area is zoned properly. You also have to think about, do you want a survey? Do you want to do the survey inside the contract, outside the contract? Sometimes title will say we have to have a survey. We have to have an ILC certificate. Other times they'll say, it's up to you. Do you guys want a full survey ahead of time? And some buyers will do that because it helps them establish the boundary lines, make sure that there's no encroachments, easements, all that sort of thing before they actually close on the property. So they will take the time to do a survey. Now, surveys are not a short process. Surveys take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer. And that's something to think about when you're purchasing land. It may not be a quick 30-day turnaround. If you are specifically looking to buy land, have a survey done, have a site and soil test done to make sure, and especially for septic, that's mainly why that's done, really, is to make sure that everything looks good for where the septic tank is going to go. You're not going to have any issues with drainage or anything like that. The soil has to be good for drainage. So that's really why they do it. So it's up to you if you want it done. Most people do it because if they're buying a piece of land, they want to make sure they can build on it later. It just depends on what the land is for. But the survey, like I said, will take several weeks. So you could be, anywhere from 30 days to a couple of months out for closing, right? Unless you don't need a survey. If you don't need a full survey, a lot of times from what I'm finding, the ILCs can be done within a couple of weeks. So it would be a typical 30-day turnaround. Site and soil, the hardest part is finding the excavator. And once they dig the holes, the health department comes out, they test the soil to make sure that all the pH levels are right for the drainage, etc. That's just a couple days. So everything can be done inside the contract for site and soil and an ILC certificate within a 30-day closing window. If you don't want any of that stuff, you're not worried about it, then you can close as fast or slow as whatever. Most of the time, land is cash deals that we've seen go through that are pretty quick. And so you just have to kind of prepare for, and sorry, we have a new situation. You're probably noticing in the background. I'm not in the same car I'm usually in, so I don't have all the gizmos, gadgets, whatever we're talking about, to stay as still as I used to. So sorry, we're still getting used to this setup. So if it's a little, bouncy, just go with it. Maybe take some Dramamine. I don't know. Just kidding. So land is just a different situation because you're thinking about surveys, you're thinking about site and soil tests. It could take longer than 30 days to close. And then there's also, has it been improved or not improved? So an improvement would be an example of, being water tapped. So has a water tap been done? And that is not a small price to pay. That is especially here in Pueblo West, is a $27,000 investment. So if you buy a piece of land that does not have a water tap already, you are going to be hiring the Pueblo West Metropolitan District out here to tap your property for water, and that is a $27,000 investment into the overall build of whatever you're considering. Surveys can be, there's some costs here, and I just want to point these out. Surveys can be in upwards of $1,200 to $1,600. They can take several weeks, and the site and soil test is about, I believe right now it's $450 through the health department, plus your cost of digging the holes through the excavator. So land is great. There are, things to get excited about, right? Because it's really just like, what do we want to do with this? What do we want to put on it? We can start fresh. We can build our own home. But you just also want to think about the additional costs that are going to come with that. Because yes, there's the cost of the house, but you also have to think about if you're doing a survey, if you're doing a site and soil test, and then also considering the things that I pointed out when I was outside. Are the power lines above ground? Are they nearby? Are they going to be sitting in my backyard? What does the view look like now? Is there a lot of property still available for someone to come and completely ruin that view? So just thinking a little bit further ahead. And a land deal is sometimes just longer than a 30-day close. So wanted to come out here and show you specifically, just because this particular road, I know there are several pieces of property available. In fact, I think the one I was saying earlier on our way in, I want to say it's 16 acres and it's 200,000, just over 200,000 is the asking price. That particular one, I think it's actually at the end of this road, and that's even closer to the reservoir. In fact, I believe on that land, you can actually see a little bit of where the reservoir is. You can actually see a view of the reservoir. So it just, it really depends on what you're looking to do. But that particular property, having said that, they're only going to allow, so you've got 16 acres, right? But you can't build multiple structures necessarily, because they're only going to allow for one septic tank on that entire property. And so that's another thing too, is, if you're looking to have multiple septic tanks, you might want to get, different situation with parcels, maybe having two different parcels, or just two parcels next to each other. You can vacate the boundary line later. There's all sorts of things you can do with it, but you want to just check into these things ahead of time, because depending on what you're going to use it for, it's not always going to be an option. Like if somebody wanted that 16 acres for, say, like a small ranch or something, are they going to be able to do that with just one septic tank? Probably not. But it could be that they just, like I said, want land. You just want space. Maybe you want to put some horses around or something like that. That's another thing about Pueblo West. A lot of people use it for toy storage. They love to be able to park their RVs because they have such bigger plots of land. Most of the homes for a normal plot, and you can get a normal plot out here that's like just over a quarter of an acre for about, I think I saw one today for 12,000 or 18,000. So it's very affordable. You can get 30 to 40,000 in these lots here. These are actually an acre each, just over an acre. I think one is 1.01, the other one's 0.02 maybe. Very, very similar in size. So you can get that between 30 and 40,000, but you want to see, has it been improved? Has it not been improved? So those are all things I can help you with. I can help you walk through this process, because it's not a very straightforward one, and there's a lot of costs that start to creep in. Side note, I don't know what is going on with my verbiage or my language today, my grammar. It's like I forgot how to talk. So just bear with, folks. This is like the second or third time I'm stumbling over myself today. I don't know. Maybe because we're filming this on the weekend. I don't know. I don't know. It's like my language is not languaging today. Anyway, so there are a lot of things to consider, a lot of costs that can creep up on you, and you want somebody who knows about that and can kind of give you that heads up ahead of time. And so the process is also a little different, specifically where I'm located. There are places that have gated communities with land and stuff like that. So you do want to have an agent that can help you look at that. And when it comes to Pueblo West, it's a little bit easier out here because nothing's really gated. You know, if you see a piece of land that you're interested in, you can definitely at least drive by the location and check that out. And then you would want to get your agent involved, obviously, for the offer process to find out is it improved or not, and all of the details that may not be as public. So you definitely want to have somebody who knows what they're doing with that, because again, the cost can start to creep in pretty subtly and pretty quickly. So if you need some help with this, the other resource that we have is we have resources for different local builders. So, you know, there's the Richmond Homes, there's the Pulte Homes, there's the big builders that sure they might take up an entire development in a community. This is a different situation because a lot of times in Pueblo West, people will hire their own specific builder, which I have relationships with great builders that I know, like, and trust very much, that do great work, that really do look out for the buyer in the process to make sure that they're getting exactly what they need without paying anything they shouldn't. And so I love my builders. I have great resources there. So that is something else too, that if you want to take it a step further and talk about the actual, you know, home builder on the piece of land that you're purchasing, I can help with that as well. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. And before we completely say goodbye today, because there's so much more to Pueblo, we try to show you when we can, when time allows, when the situation allows, just different areas of Pueblo too, so you can kind of see what else does Pueblo have to offer. So we're going to venture out of Pueblo West really quick. We're going to take you to our newest Asian market here. It's an Asian supermarket. It is so fun. And I just want to show you how many cool things you can get in there. They even have like a little ramen station, so you can get your own flavor of ramen noodles right there. You ask them for a little setup and they have these things that you can put the ramen noodles in. You can cook it all on your own right there. You can sit down and eat it. It's really fun. And then they have the best, if they have it in stock, they've been out of stock for weeks, but they have the best little ice creams. They're like mango or strawberry or grape, or they have all these flavors and they're shaped like a fruit, but they are so creamy and so delicious. So we're gonna see if they're in stock today. But either way, you've got to see this Asian market because it's just here on the north side of Pueblo. So we're gonna venture over, and I want to say it's going to be about a 15-minute drive from here. It's not far, so we will see you there. So it looks like they are out of the ice cream, but we have the ramen wall I'm going to show you here in a second, and then they have, like right behind me, they have all these different, you can get your own chopsticks, like personalized. They have kids ones. So cool. So let's see the ramen. Literally every flavor you could possibly want. Spicy, cheesy. They've even got Alfredo. They've got garlic oil pasta, tomato, creamy mushroom, sesame. So pretty much anything you want. And then you can get a bowl and you bring it to this station right here, and you push, do you want stir fried or soup? And then start, stop, and it gives you your water and it cooks it. How cool is that? This is the ramen wall, and it looks like they were out of the ice cream that we normally get, so we're just looking around at all the other things they have. They've got soybean rolls, Asian style glass noodles. I mean, it's just a good time in here. There's so much. Rice cake, I think it's tapaki. I'm not an expert, not claiming to be an expert. So if anybody's correcting me watching my video, you can let me know. But they've got some fun ice creams over here. This one's a cool one. It's a little matcha and strawberry. They've got like a rice cake on the outside. Got some fresh stuff. They even have stuff for the ramen topping. Different drinks. And look, ramen toppings right here. So cool. Well, we tried to get you the coolest ice cream. We actually found out when we were in there that the distributor is completely out of them. They've been a TikTok craze. They've been super, super popular. So we tried, but we got some fun stuff. We got some cheesy ramen. So this is what it looks like a whole thing of it, right? So cheesy ramen, which is actually really, really good. And it's kid approved for sure. So we got that. We got some fun chopsticks that are also kid approved. So if they're just learning, they don't know how to use them. They have this, isn't that like just so adorable? So adorable. We got that. So, and then they also have pre-made, it's kind of like a seaweed with rice situation. There's instructions in Chinese. I don't know. We've eaten these before. They're really good. It's basically just seaweed with some rice inside of it. And again, I'm not an expert, and I'm sure it's literally rice, seaweed, fish cake, carrot, pickled radish. So it's yummy. There might be something you're supposed to do with it. We just kind of eat it as it is because it's good. So anyways, hopefully this has been a nice little glimpse into another fun place here in Pueblo. You've gotten to learn some things about land. And if you are considering moving to the area, you want to, build from the ground up, see what your options are. There's also a close city nearby called Colorado City that we're going to eventually get into as well. But there's land there also. We didn't go there today, but we've kind of focused locally here on Pueblo West, specifically because there's a lot of land available. So whether it's in 10 days from now, it could be 10 months from now, if you're looking to make a transition, you want to make it a smooth one, just grab my contact information from the description box below. Reach out at any time, shoot me a text, give me a call. Either way, we look forward to connecting. And in the meantime, if you are local to Pueblo, maybe we will see you around.